Hi, peeps. Chloe. Chloe's mom here. Um, Thought I'd make a little video. I'm at Invergrove Heights on a reset, and thought I'd just talk about my week, um, all the stuff that happened on my week, lessons I've learned, frustrations, etc., etc. Um, just you could learn a lot about the trucking world just by my 1 week. I like my earrings, so I don't splurge very often, but I bought them up in I Falls a few weeks ago when I was up there. They're actually made in Canada. I went into a gift shop looking for arrow bars. They didn't have arrow bars, but they had these, and then I got this little, it's supposed to be a tree ornament, but it's by the same company and it matches, so I'm gonna make a necklace out of it. So yeah, so it's Tuesday. Normally my home days are Monday, Tuesday, which means I get home either Sunday or Monday. And I can usually count on having Tuesday off. And then Wednesday, I leave out with my Amsoil load. It delivers Friday morning. So my week started out just crazy last week. So Wednesday, I was getting ready to do my Zoom Bible study, and my ABS light came on my truck. You can't run with the ABS light on; it's a DOT violation. I tried a few different things, shut the truck off, let it sit for 15-20 minutes, started it, still on, moved it a little bit, moved the truck, shut it down again, reset it. Nothing worked. Did the diagnostics and I didn't quite get what it was trying to tell me. So I had to bring it to the shop. So that displaced me from it. And so I had to miss Bible study. I ran to Walmart, got supplies, came back. This all started at like 8 in the morning. Then I waited and waited and waited and waited. Usually I like to start getting ready about 2:15. Do my pre-trip on my truck and fill up with DEF, go over to Quick Trip, get fuel if I need it, be at Amsoil by 3, before 3. Sometimes my trailer is ready before 3, but it's usually after 3. So anyhow, then I can get on the road and I usually go 300 miles that first night, and that puts me in a good spot to start out early and get all the way to Columbus Thursday night, and I dock my truck, go to bed, and then they're unloading me in the morning. My appointment time is 8, but James, the forklift operator, comes in early because he knows I'll be there, so sometimes like 6 in the morning he's unloading my truck. So I put my paperwork on a clipboard and stick it in the back of the truck so he could just start working. But yeah, it got to be like 1:30, and I went to the shop to see what was going on with my truck. He was like, well, we're making progress, but it wasn't done. It didn't get done until like almost 5 o'clock, and the Amsoil shipping office closes at 5. So I hurried up, did my pre-trip, and then just ran over, picked up my trailer, came back, got DEF, then I had to go to Quick Trip, get fuel, and then scale my truck. So I got a really late start, and then it was snowing to beat heck. Roads are bad, I had to slow down. It was midnight by the time I got to my stop. Usually I'm there 7:30, 8 o'clock. So midnight I was there, which means I can't leave out until 10 in the morning, which put me into Indianapolis in the middle of rush hour. I still made it to Urban Crest and docked my truck, But it was late, so I didn't get a lot of sleep because about 6:30, quarter after 6, forklift woke me up. The whole truck's just jiggling all over. And um, and on my way out there, um, so originally I was supposed to go to Cleveland for my back haul, and it was that place where it's a blind back into the building. And I mean, I can do it. I don't know, it's not my favorite. So they took me off of that. And part of me was happy because I was like, oh, good, I don't like that stuff. But then there's that thing, oh, no, where are they sending me? I like knowing. I don't like change, and I like knowing what's going to happen. I'm a creature of habit, 100%. But Thursday, my reload came on. It was Kentucky. So I'm like, yeah, I love going to Kentucky. Absolutely love it. And the stop, it's a 3M plant. They're nice to deal with. It's not an easy back, but it's not a hard back. Although I had performance anxiety there. There was trucks waiting for me to get backed in so they could back in, and I ended up getting twisted and bad. It was bad. Another truck driver. Well, first of all, I looked, the next guy in line was like this in this truck, and that made it even worse. Well, then he gets out and he comes over. I'm like, I am so sorry. He's like, no, you're fine. He said, I'll help you. So he watched for me. So, because otherwise, if you can't see something, you have to keep stopping and getting out, making sure you're not going to hit another trailer or whatever. With him watching me, so I didn't hit anything, then I could get it right in there. So yeah, I was like, oh, thank you so very much. He's like, we've all been there. It happens to everybody. He said, even in the number of years I've been on the road, it still happens to me. He said, you just have bad days. And so yeah, that was nice. So then I start out with that load, and it goes to Ashland. And the first time I did it, I was off my schedule, and so I brought it to Ashland on a Monday. That was my very first week out alone. And the second time I had this load, my dispatcher was like, no, you can't bring it there on the weekend, so bring it to Superior, and a local driver will bring it there on Monday because it has to deliver on Monday. So this time I have a different dispatcher, and it kept saying Ashland, so I called her before she left for the day on Friday, and I said, so do I bring this to Ashland? And I told her what my last dispatcher had said, and she said, let me call and check, and then I'll let you know. So she got back to me and said, yes, you can bring it there on the weekend. So when I got to Ashland, I got there Saturday afternoon. They said, yeah, if you ever need to bring a load on the weekends and there's not anybody in the shipping office, just drop it in the drop yard and grab any empty, and you're good to go. So I was like, oh, that's good to know. So then my dispatcher said, I've got a load for you if you want it. There's a trailer at Invergrove Heights that's going out to Mackenzie, North Dakota. She said, you can get out there Sunday, and then drop that loaded trailer off and pick up your return load, which goes to Bemidji, Minnesota, and you can on Monday get to Bemidji, unload at Menards, and then be back in Superior in time to do your reset. I'm like, oh man, that's perfect. And it was a Menards distribution center out in North Dakota, and they're generally really nice to deal with. They're big and well laid out. Just it's a nice load, and so I said, yeah, that sounds good. And so anyhow, I left Ashland, and brought my empty trailer. I get down to Inver Grove Heights. Oh, so Saturday I only made as far as Superior. And then I got deaf and parked for the night. And then I left Sunday morning. Get down to Inver Grove Heights, drop my empty trailer. First of all, there was nowhere to drop a trailer, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then I saw a driver, looking for a empty. So I'm like, hey, you looking for an empty? He said, yeah. I'm like, awesome, I'll drop it right in the lane, and you can pick it up. So did that, looked and looked and looked for my trailer that was going out to North Dakota. Nowhere, could not find it. So every morning the shop makes a list of all the trailers at all the terminals, and if they're loaded or empty, if they need service, whatever. And the guy was there making the list, so I asked him, I said, have you seen trailer yada yada yada? And he said, no. He said, but I haven't checked the gravel lot down at Rosemount. So got my truck and I bobtailed down there. Wasn't in the gravel. And then in the meantime, this is burning through my clock. It's burning hours. Plus just frustrating me, you know. And so I call Weekend Dispatch, and they gave me a different trailer number. So, and that was up at Inver Grove Heights. So I drove up to Inver Grove, found the trailer, checked the paperwork to make sure it was a load going out to Mackenzie. It had come from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And so finally I was on my way. And by this time I was kind of rattled. And usually what I do is I dial the address into my trucker GPS. And then I also dial it into my phone and I compare them. If there's a discrepancy, I look to see what the difference is, what it might be. Usually it's something like the GPS recognizes truck routes and low bridges and stuff like that, where, you know, obviously Google Maps thinks you're in a car. It's just going to send you the best route in a car. So anyhow, that's usually the difference. But, so this was a big mistake. I was in such a hurry. I was flustered. I just wanted to get on the road. Wanted to get to Mackenzie, and I just left, just with my GPS going. And I get out there, and I should have stopped at a rest area when I got down the road and just to double check, because there were some red flags. Like, I'm driving, and I already drove 600 miles, and it said I had, I don't know, 200 miles to go yet. I'm like, it's more miles than they said it was. And it had me leave I-94 in Jamestown and go north on this other highway. And I'm like, yes, something is wrong. And my clock was running low. There's nowhere to pull off. And then I get to Carrington, North Dakota, and there was a Casey's, a truck parking. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to pull into Casey's, shut it down for the night, and then see what's going on. And so I did, and here the GPS was sending me way up into the middle of nowhere, way off course. I don't really know why. And so I dialed in what I did is I dialed in the town of Sterling, which is next to Mackenzie, and for some reason the GPS recognized that. So it showed me how to get back down to 94 and head to Sterling. And so instead of being at the shipper, I was the receiver and shipper both. I was like 80 miles away. So I was like, So I started out early in the morning, and I texted my dispatcher, and I told her what happened with Weekend Dispatch, that I had a different load or a different trailer number. and that I was 80 miles away. And she called me right away, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "Did you check the paperwork?" She's like, "I don't think you have the right load." And so I ended up just pulling off on the shoulder, and gave her some numbers off the bill of lading, and she's like, "Okay." So apparently, what had happened is when the other driver picked up the load in Carlisle, um, the company had used a different trailer. They had changed trailers, and so it was the right load but a different trailer number, but she never reported it to anybody. So the trailer I was looking for is still out in Pennsylvania waiting to get loaded. So anyhow, everything, and she said, even with your being 80 miles away, you should still make it to Bemidji and get unloaded and make it to Superior. Everything's fine. So, next thing I did wrong. So I get to the Menards Distribution Center. Really nice to deal with. Dropped my load in the lot that they said to. Went over, picked up my preloaded trailer. And normally I like double and triple check everything as I'm doing it on the tablet. For some reason I didn't, and they had changed my load, and I just blew through the da 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 without really looking. Had I looked, I would have seen a different destination, a different trailer number. So I pick up the load for Bemidji, get my tandem slid, get checked out at the gate, start off down the road, heading for Bemidji, and I see a message from my dispatcher saying, "Oh, your load was changed to Marshall, Minnesota." And I'm like, oh my God. So I pulled into a rest area so I could actually read the message without. Sometimes I have Google Assistant read me messages because I'm not gonna do that while I'm driving. Which, oh yeah, I gotta tell you the story about that. Let me put it on my note. Guy on phone. So anyhow, I called my dispatcher and I said, I've got that Bemidji load. She said, yeah, you're going to have to turn around and go back to the distribution center. You're going to Marshall, Minnesota. So I was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't see how I'm going to make it back to Superior for reset. She said, well, maybe we can just have you bring the load to Inver Grove Heights, and then you can do your reset there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So turn around. It's just not easy in a semi. Get back to the Menards Distribution Center. I'm like, yeah, they want me to take a different load. So I had to drop that trailer, pick up my new trailer, slide the tandems, do all the paperwork, yada, 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 and finally headed down the road. So later in the day, I am at Fargo, North Dakota, and that's where, if I'm going to go to Inver Grove Heights or down to Marshall, is two different ways. And so I messaged, I was stopped for fuel, so I texted my dispatcher and said, so am I going to Inver Grove Heights? I don't know that I would make it to Marshall on my clock. And she's like, I think you're still going to Marshall. She said, let me check and I'll get back to you. And she didn't get back. So I just started heading towards Marshall because you can't just assume anything. And later she messaged me and said, yeah, you need to go to Marshall and do that live unload. So already it was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it on my clock. And the last 2 hours of the trip was just on these little rural roads. I mean, there was nowhere to stop. There was nowhere to park a truck. I'm like, I don't know, this is horrible. And I called safety, and I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know if I'm even going to make it. And he looked at the Menards I was going to. He's like, it looks like there's parking. He's like, if you could just make it there, I'm sure you can park overnight. And so, yeah, I made it with 8 minutes left on my clock. 8 minutes. That was it. So I docked my truck at Menards, and they unloaded me, and so then you can't go over 5 miles an hour. That like starts your clock again, and I'd have a violation. So I had to creep my truck out of the yard when they were done unloading me, and then there was like this little side road that was closed off that just went to a farm field. So I backed down that and did it without starting my clock. So I spent the night there, and then it's like, okay, so now I'm down in Marshall, Minnesota. I don't know, if I make it back to Superior, I'm not going to be able to even leave till, Thursday morning, and I don't know how I'm going to get to my appointment. And I was pretty stressed. I didn't even really sleep. And so my dispatcher messaged me and said, go ahead and go to Inver Grove Heights and start your reset, and someone will pick up your trailer tomorrow and bring it to Inver Grove Heights, and you can start out from there. So that's where I am now, and I need to sit and look at my GPS and stuff and see. I'm thinking if I leave at like 5 in the morning on Thursday and get to Indianapolis, I'm hoping, and then leave Indianapolis at like 4 in the morning, I think I could still make my appointment time on Friday morning. It'll be hard, but I think it's doable. So, the thing about trucking, you're kind of captive. Like a normal job, you leave work, you're off work. And like if you wanted to quit, not come into work, you could do that. I mean, with trucking, you're in their truck somewhere. You're kind of their property, and then you have, your downtime, and you end up doing all your paperwork and route trip planning, and so you're never really, you don't have time. You're not. People will tell you that about trucking, but you don't know until you know. It's not a job, it's a life, it's your lifestyle, and there's so much I like about it. I love driving the truck, I absolutely love it, but the rest sucks. I like living in the truck, that doesn't bother me, but all these changes in this clock, and the constant never knowing if you're going to have a place to stop, but you have to stop, that's stressful. So I have to figure out. I'm going to stay with Helver. I was so stressed out that if I would have had a place to go, I would have just quit last night. But I don't, like, my shack is shut down. It's snowed in. There's no propane, so there's no heat. My well is buried. I mean, I don't know where to go but this truck. So that's probably a good thing. I need to just tough it out until my time is up, and then figure out what I want to do, where I want to work. But it's not going to be this. It's just too stressful. And I miss my farm. I miss, So, it'll give me time to decide what I want to do for sure. I think I'm going to drive truck, but not like this. So, I got to tell you my story. So these trucks are equipped with all kinds of safety crap, and like for the most part, I think it's good stuff, but it needs tweaking. There's issues with some of it, and there's like this lane departure thing. So if you go over the white line, which I do all the time, that's how I drive. I drive on the white line. It goes like you're running over rumble strips, but it's the truck doing it. I hate that. And there's like a sensor that'll tell you, like, when you put your blinker on, if there's somebody in the right lane, it'll warn you. It'll go beep beep, like a horn honking. Or wait, no, this one just goes beep. Um, and that can be nice, but like most of the time I know there's somebody over there, but I'm signaling my intent. Because you put your signal on as soon as you decide you need to move over so that other cars know you're going to move over. And then there's adaptive cruise control, which I actually like. And what that does is, say I have my cruise at 65, and there's somebody in front of me that's going 63. It'll just, when I get the right distance, it'll just slow my truck down so I never get too close to the person in front of me. I kind of find that handy because you can just keep your cruise control on even when, you come up to somebody going 50 or whatever. But there is a collision mitigation system, which that sounds really nice, doesn't it? Yeah, that sounds, wow, mitigate a collision? Awesome. No, it sucks. It really sucks. So what it is, it's a sensor, and it senses something you're going to collide with and slams your brakes on. Depending on how fast you're coming up on whatever it is, it might give you a warning, this red blah, 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 blah on your screen, and if you hit your brakes fast enough, it won't slam on your brakes. But it has flaws. Yeah, it has flaws. So, I was in Hazelhurst, Wisconsin, going through the town, and I'm on a curve, and there was a garbage can out on the curb, and oh my God, you're gonna have a collision, and so I had to quick hit my brakes, and everybody behind you almost rear ends you, and but if you don't hit your brakes, it will slam on your brakes. Or somebody passes you and then they cut right in front of you, it hits your brakes. And again, the people, like, say people are merging and somebody merges right in front of you and people are trying to merge behind and your truck slams on its brakes. But it slammed them on hard. It was my first time of experiencing this, and it's brutal. It's horrible. So what was happening, I was driving on I-94. The speed limit is 75 or 80, I don't remember which. And they're up ahead. Truck drivers look way ahead. So if you're behind a semi and all of a sudden they turn their blinker on and change lanes, or they put their flash on, look, because there's something happening up ahead. But anyhow, so I'm watching, and up ahead there was an entrance ramp, and there was people merging on. And so I'm watching, and I could see, they're going to be merging. So there was a white Dodge pickup, and it was merging on, and I can see he's going really slow, really slow. So I slowed down, just because, who knows what they're doing. And I moved over into the left lane so he could come into the right lane really slow. And as I'm coming up to go by him, he suddenly, veered over into my lane, and my truck slammed on my brakes. Shit went flying all over. Chloe crashed into the console. And as this is happening, I'm watching this truck, and I was braced for this because, I could see this truck. The guy was sitting there texting on his phone and going, maybe 40 miles an hour in a 75 mile an hour zone and veering over to my lane. I just laid on the air horn, whoa, and he moved back over. And then later down the road, because after I got by him, I moved back into the right lane, and 5-10 miles down the road, here he comes up behind me, and he went past me, still on his phone. I could see him, and then I could see him up ahead, swerving all over, going off on his shoulder, yeah. So that's my story about that. Let's put our little stinky Binky up here. She's sleeping. She's all tired. Oh, you gotta get your pixie, little girl. So I'm gonna go in. I got a shower, it was heavenly, and I'm doing laundry right now. So I'm gonna go in and get my laundry, and then I'm gonna take the courtesy car and run to Walmart. And so I'll be here all day tomorrow. I'll probably make a little video to put at the end of this of some changes I'm making in my how where I'm putting stuff in my truck. So I'll put that on next, peeps. I hope this wasn't too boring. I see it was half hour long, but I had a lot to say. Figured I would do my Aldi haul. Hey, hey, Chloe. What in the world? Chloe. I'll do that's so cute. I'll do my Aldi haul for the rest of this video, and then I can post it. What do you think, oh Stinky Bink? Miss Chloe. Okay, so I did my water jugs. I only did 3 because my other one was there was a little bit left, and I'm probably not going to be out as many days this time. So I had bought last week, I bought these Primo jugs at Walmart, and then it's only 39 cents to refill them. So can't go wrong there. So I'm going to, because until I reopen my shack, I have to get water, in Superior, Inver Grove, or wherever I'm at. Once I reopen the shack and I'm home every week, then I'll just refill them from my well. But for now, that's what I got. So, as you know, this fridge is super dinky. Just minute. So it's going to be a challenge getting all this food in there. I guess I was shopping. I didn't really realize how much refrigerated goods I bought until now, but I am determined to make it work even if I have to rearrange shelves or whatever. So this is what I got at Aldi. I got kielbasa. I've been on that kielbasa kick. I'm not really sure why. And they had these berries. It's blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries all in one little container. Yum. Those, I suppose, wouldn't have to go in the fridge. So for my salads, I got sunflower chopped salad, Southwest chopped salad, and Thai and cashews chopped salad. I bought some delicious little sweet peppers. Those could probably sit out if I have pick the coolest spot in the truck. Celery. And I'm hoping I still have peanut butter left because I forgot to get the peanut butter to go with it. I got this broccoli stuffed chicken. I absolutely love this stuff. It doesn't, I did a video about it before. That's not what it looks like. It's kind of a mess. Well, let's see if you can see. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But it tastes so good. And I might try it in the Hot Logic this time and see how it turns out. And then I got some pork burnt ends. Yum. Some of Aldi's Brookdale brand chili just to have in my stable stash. Then I was really hungry. I haven't eaten for, I don't know, since yesterday sometime, so I just kept grabbing things. But it's artichoke, spinach, and cheese stuffed portobellas. Little baby bellas. I'm sure you're supposed to bake them, but I figure I can either microwave them or do my little skillet. Because I've been making my Kung Pao chicken in it, and I just turn the heat real low and put the lid on. And you could even, with these, I'd probably put a little bit of water in there too and just let them kind of bake in the skillet. Then I got the naughty They're so good. But you know, they're small enough that they're not really that bad. They're not that good. 22 grams of carb, including 17 grams of sugar. So they're not over the top. You know, it's okay. And of course, I got more wet ones. Go through a lot of those. So that was it for my Walmart or my Aldi. No, cashews. Got cashews. There's only $5 for a big bag of cashews at Aldi. Such a good deal. And at Dollar Tree, I got some tuna creations. I love this lemon pepper one. Some Hershey Kisses. It's like now I have 2 naughties. Dates. I love dates. And Cheetos. This is a splurge. This is not something that's in my normal daily eating. And ramen noodles is also not like in my diet. This fell open. Let's see. Like if you ate an entire package, it's 53 grams of carbs. So yeah, they're naughty, but I don't eat them very often, but they're nice to have. Like if you're somewhere where you don't have time to cook or you've run out of fresh food, at least you got something to eat. So yeah, that's it for my Aldi haul and Dollar Tree. I bought these, let's see, I'm gonna spin around here. Oops, oh shoot, I dropped my berries on the floor. I'm gonna pick that up. But I got these basket things at Dollar Tree. I was looking for the containers with lids this size, but they no longer have those. But I figured I have these 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags, and I can slide this right there. Perfect place to store things. So that's all my cords and chargers and stuff. That bag is all of Chloe's clothes. I think I have my pajamas in there too, but Chloe's toys and clothes. I got paperwork, and then I do have another one of those blue baskets that I can put whatever I need to in a Ziploc baggie and put it in there. And that way, the reason I'm doing it that way is because to get to the stuff under the bunk, which I have to do at least once every day, you have to lift the whole bed up, and then if there's just like bags of stuff out there, they fall into the storage compartments, and some of the, like the middle compartment is clean because it's where I keep my house, my, regular stuff. But the 2 outer ones are boxes I can access from the outside, so they have like oil and antifreeze and ratchet or tie straps, load straps, that kind of stuff. So I don't really want my clean stuff falling in there. However, I did put a bag of outdoor warm clothes down there because I just don't have the room. And I'm determined to never have this bunk folded back down again because it just gets claustrophobic in here. Alrighty, so I think I'm good to go ahead and post this video, and hopefully it's not too long and boring. I cannot talk. Boring.